Kenneth Bird. I'm going to set my whatchamacallit back up over here because I'm working on something. My name is Kenneth Bird, and my company is ILEG Infusion Light Energy Technology Screens. Now, again, as I said before, this person by the name of Jamie Fernando Gonzalez, he goes by several different names on YouTube. Right now, he has taken our name and has been trying to use it to make trouble. This person, as I told you before, is a person who thinks only of himself. I literally told you about that about him. He doesn't think about his family. He doesn't think about his friends. He doesn't think about anybody, not even his own Mexican heritage. He doesn't think about any of that. Only him and him only is the only person he thinks about. And I told you, this is the kind of person he is. He's in a spiral downward road of destruction. He has not learned anything in any way whatsoever. So yes, he makes his people look horrible. Now, as I said before, I have immigration lawyers as good friends. And the story I explained about this individual, even they agree. They do their best to try to fight for Mexicans to have the ability to come here to the United States, to get their paperwork, to be legal, so that way they can live the American dream or whatever they want to do at the end of the day to have a better life. This guy, at the end of the day, he's fighting against his own people. When you do stuff like this, when you commit criminal acts on United States soil, you are basically making your own race look bad. This is what, you got individuals out there who do not want any type of Mexicans in the United States. They don't care whether or not if they're basically hardworking citizens, if they're going to college, if they're doing this, doing that. They just don't want them in there. You got people that are downright racist about that. This individual is literally attacking his own people. When you go out and you do stuff like this makes you look extremely bad to your own people. You have people in Mexico, over in California right now, protesting. They're having protesters out there, protesters everywhere, about how they're treating the Mexican immigrants, on how basically they're just grabbing kids out of schools, how they're basically going in and just grabbing people off their job sites, all kinds of stuff. Even some people were mistakenly, how bad it is, they mistaken some people that weren't Mexicans, they tried to take them too. And again, there was a story about a family from Puerto Rico that they grabbed. But as I said before, with everything that's going on right now, you would think that somebody would be trying to do something to better this, to better the situation. But not Jamie Fernando Gonzalez, not him. Jamie has put a black eye on the Mexican people for quite some time. He has committed all types of acts. We got documents behind us. We had to literally file with, where is my documents at? I have to go back in the day. Every time he does one of these things, we have to go in and we have to file. Now we have to go to another task force where they're going to come and pick him up right away. Because again, it shows at the end of the day, he's breaking laws left and right, and he feels like he's not afraid of, I guess, immigration custom enforcement, which is actually involved. And we have to contact their office, and we have to explain to them he's constantly attacking us now. So yeah, that's not going to take long for them to take care of that problem right there. We'll be contacting FBI, we'll be contacting Allentown Police, we'll let them know everything we're going through, who we filed with, the whole 9 yards today. As I said before, he does not learn anything at all whatsoever. And he makes his own people look horrible. Because again, lawyers I talk to at the end of the day is that that's what they don't want to represent. That's what they don't want in the country. They do not want people that are going to come in here and act up, carry on, break the law, and do everything they want to do under the sun and disrespect this country. They don't want people like that in here. Just like in other countries. If I went to Mexico and I did the stuff that he did, I'm pretty sure they don't want me in there either. I'm pretty sure they want me out of their country. They want me out. Any country does not want criminals. And Mr. Fernando is a criminal. Mr. Fernando has copyright infringement violations where we had process service go to his front door. We have to, now we have this document that we had to file with the United States Immigration and Custom Enforcement. The next step we're going to be going is to FBI to explain to them to enforce this, that he is undocumented. He is basically committing crimes on United States soil. We have documents for, like I said, for having process service come to the front door, huge, about 23, maybe 24 counts of criminal acts on police reports we had to file against him. And this was involving all scanned documents to match everything we said, everything from doxing addresses, cybercrimes, you name it, he's done it. So it's not going to take long now to get this taken care of. Meanwhile, he's still on his channel carrying on. Mr. Fernando, you can post all the pictures you want of me. This is not going to bother me. You can go in there and say all the nasty things about me. It's not going to bother me. This basically disrespects your people at the end of the day, because you are the poster child of why people are protesting, and people are trying to keep them out of the country by saying that all Mexicans are dangerous people, and they're not dangerous people. You are doing this to your own people. You want to scream racism at everybody else because you're blocking anything in here. But anyway, as I said before, you play a big role on what's going on, because again, this is what they're saying about Mexican people. They're saying they're all dangerous. They're all drug dealers. They're all this. They're all that. And they're not. I have Mexican friends. I have Mexicans to be married into my family, I think, within another summer. Yeah, I think this summer we're going to have Mexican married into family, which would be pretty cool. But anyway, as I said before, and you, on the other hand, you are attacking your own people, because when you do stuff like this, you hurt your own people. Scamming, ripping people off, on house paint. I showed you basically how easy it is to make this stuff. It's not hard to make this stuff. And again, this man didn't have any testing. There's no testing underneath any of the products he made. You can easily make this stuff, which I showed you on YouTube. It's not hard to make, and this is the reason why all that testing is important. If you don't do any of this stuff, you run the risk of basically consumer fraud and ripping off your customers. Perjury. Lied on this LLC, went in and wrote in that the LLC that he had was basically, his company was 5 months. Company's not 5 months. Your company's way older than 5 months. Hold on for a minute. Let's pull his LLC up. Let me see. You got people that are trying their hardest to become United States citizens, and you're doing the one thing that they're blaming them for, or all of them, trying to blame all of them for, as being criminals. And you're just coming on and feeding that. So you do know your sites are monitored, right? I mean, you can carry on all you want, but I guess he feels at the end of the day he's being deported. You're just going to carry on and act up. That's not good. That's not good at all. What you should have did, came up with an apology to your race at the end of the day, and told them, look, I'm sorry I came out and did some crazy stuff at the end of the day. I promise I'm going to try to do better. That's what a real man does. Not the stuff that you're doing at the end of the day. You're lashing out at me because you're angry, upset, and bitter. But you're making your people look bad, look awful by doing these things, because, again, this is what they're campaigning. This is what started the whole entire thing, that they're dangerous and they should not be in the U.S. And you got people come in and they make these pictures, make everything that they do, they blow it. Just put it this way. Anything that happens, they're going to blow it way out of proportion. Say, oh, there's this, that, and the other. All of them are like this. That's what you're doing to your own race. And you don't see it. And now you got people out there, women and children out there right now in the streets. How do you drive past that and see those people out there protesting, out there putting their lives out there on the line, because anything can happen, police put anything out there, and they got their kids out there trying to make a better future for their families out there, to come here to the United States and get proper documentation, to have the right to be here, and you do that nonsense? You're a slimy piece of work. Like I said, I got friends of mine, they said they ever bump into Fernando, they gonna beat the stuffing out of him, because he makes them look bad. How do you do that? What kind of person are you at the end of the day? I know you see it. It's out there in California. How do you drive past all that, knowing that these people are trying to get a better opportunity, and you're here, undocumented, keep in mind, and carrying on and acting up the way you are? You're doing the one thing that they don't want to see. That's what you're doing. You're not hurting me at the end of the day. Posting my picture and it doesn't hurt my company in any way whatsoever. You've been doing that for years. How is that affecting me in any way whatsoever? It doesn't affect anything I have going on. Not a thing. It hurts you at the end of the day. That's what hurts. And it hurts your people now at the end of the day, because now they got massive campaigns to keep them out of the country. And one of the things they say, the reason why they want them out, because they're not law-abiding citizens. They break the law. And you are breaking the law. You don't belong here. Anybody from any country that is doing something they shouldn't be doing and breaking the law should be deported. Anyone who basically has been here and you don't have documents, you should have the right to be able to obtain documents to stay here. That's what I believe in. Even the attorneys down here agree with me 100%. If you've been here for like 20 years or so forth, even if you've been here for 2 years, whatever, you don't have any criminal charges, you have a right to stay here. You have a right to go apply and get your citizenship and stay. You have that right. People who commit crimes, break the law, do the things that this individual has done, don't need to be here. We got criminals that do what you do, Mr. Fernando. They're not here. They go to jail. That's the thing. That's the whole process. If you was a United States citizen and you went out and carried on the way you did, you would be locked up. Just like anybody else. Just like an American citizen, you'd be locked up because there's rules and regulations to all of this. So here we are. We're going to bring up his he's over at California State Secretary, which we're going to be contacting them with the information we have with immigration on what we had to file. All the agencies now are going to be contacted about this document we have behind us, because now we have a 100% you're not documented. We can tell 100%. As I said before, anybody else would have had those documents up by now. The fact that you're still doing what you're doing right now and you haven't showed any proof of documentation anywhere, it clearly shows you don't. The red flags are all there that you don't have it. One of the number one red flags, and people, how did you come to the conclusion? The copyrights. The copyrights told on them. Because again, the average citizen who hits a copyright, just one of them will freak out. Just one of them. Because you know the consequences behind a copyright is really brutal. This guy had a copyright 63 times and continued to do so. We can show the recordings of him constantly having this conversation. Say, oh, this one, oh, this one, oh, this one. The only time a person hits a copyright that many times, unless he has the money to pay the fines and fees. But keep in mind, jail time comes behind that. So all the money in the world won't help that one. Or basically, maybe they can't be responsible because they're not documented here in the United States to face the court system. And that's what came up. That's what caught you, Mr. Fernando. That's what did it. Because every attorney we talked to said the exact same thing, that he's not documented. So, to make sure, as I said before, to see if you could stand trial, because again, I don't get my court fees back. Let's wait for the reconnection. Okay, from the first process server that came to the door, I lost $100. I showed you the receipt. I got to pay for process servers, or $100. I paid for that, and I paid additional $100 for the CCP. And when the process server got there, but I let that go, I lost $200 there, and I let it slide. Now, I came back in and I talked to somebody and they said, hey, you may want to check and see if he's documented, because if he's not, it's a lot of money in federal court. You're going to lose this money if you don't find out if he's documented or not. That's why I contacted this agency right here. This is who we contacted right there. You don't think this is real? This is actually a real agency, Mr. Fernando. These are real people. I contacted them and I was advised that if we were going to get this particular document, we had to go through them. No other agency can give us this, and that's what we contacted. Unfortunately, it's a form, and within that form, we filled out all your information. Your address, your full name is in there. Your company's name is in there. The docket report for the we have a police station with Allentown. That's in there. Everything is in there. Everything. So they know your location. They know where you live at. The whole 9 yards. Everything. Your YouTube channel. I don't care how many times you change it. It's in there. It's all in there. So, with that being said, Mr. Fernando, that you when we contacted them, we had to put all that information in there to do this in order to figure out whether or not if you're documented. Now, if he's not documented, what happens is that he'll just be charged with whatever crimes that we said that he has, which is basically the cybercrimes, because they asked exactly what type of activity we're having or problems we may be having from this individual, and we put down the problems we're having from this individual is cyber crimes and copyright violation. That's what we're having from him. So if you're not documented and they find out and they look through it and they go, okay, it's not documented, they're still going to charge you with crimes against the United States government of the copyrights and also cyber crimes, which is federal. That's what they're going to charge you with. If you're not documented, then they're going to come down and they're going to deport you. But before they deport you, you have to do jail time, which means under cybercrimes, under the United States Immigration and Custom Enforcement, he has to do a timeline of anywhere between 5 to 20 years. 20 years being severely the maximum. And what we have here, he is actually the 20 years. And that's what he'll receive when they catch him. So, this is your problem you have right now. Now, instead of you trying to do something to soften the blow, you just continue on. And like I said, you're making your own race look bad. Because I said before, that's what they say about Mexican people. And I said, I got friends of mine here that crap all the time, that they don't want them in here because there are all these bad things. And this is the reason why we got to put up the wall to keep these bad people out. Because these people will come to the country and they'll disrespect this and disrespect that. And they'll mess with this and mess with that. And they're nothing but criminals. You are the poster child for what they're trying to do. And they want all of them out. All of them. They can possibly, they would remove every single one of them out of the United States. Every single one. You consider this the fact, Mr. Fernando, how selfish and of a nasty human being you are. Consider the fact that people are having their kids removed. You imagine going to school and can't find out your kids are there because some law enforcement officer came in there. These guys in the day, we have to use them at the end of the day. And anyway, I don't like what they do. So it's kind of like a back and forth kind of thing with us. Like we're in a situation where we don't like them in some ways because I don't like how they're handling things. But in another way, we have to, because part of what they're doing is actually good. And part of what they're doing is actually bad. They're removing people like you out of the country, which they should be doing, but people that are coming here and working hard and basically trying to make a life for themselves, they should not be removed. They should be able to stay here because they've not committed any crimes. They're saying the crime is basically they don't have paperwork. Then help them get the paperwork. You have a process that allows people to get paperwork to stay here. Give them the ability to stay here. Don't remove them. Don't touch their kids. They should never ever be able to touch their kids. That's child abduction. That's what it goes. Well, it's still kidnapping. That's what I feel. I don't care what it is. It's still kidnapping. If I was an agent that worked for him, I would quit. I'm sorry. You have to lose my job. I'm not doing this. Because again, there's a part of humanity. You can't go and just do that at the end of the day. But see, Mr. Fernando, see how I have more passion for your people than you do? And yet you call me racism? And look what you do to your own race at the end of the day. Knowing all this is going on with your people, you continue to be the person that they are pushing to be able to remove all of them out of the United States, regardless of whether they have paperwork or not, regardless of whether they have birthrights, which means your kids have birthrights here, because I'm pretty sure they were born here in the States. They want to push a law to remove your kids and push them over to Mexico. Get them out. Anybody. Yeah, you know that's serious when they're going for the birthrights, which they're not able to do now because it was overturned by a Supreme Judge. That goes against the Constitution, and you can't do that. But they tried, and that's what makes it a nightmare. They tried. And if they're going to try to challenge the Constitution, God knows what else they're going to try. So with that being said, you are against your own people. And if you think he's not, go to his YouTube channel. I don't care about what he posts about me. I don't care. It'll make a difference at the end of the day. But the fact that what you're doing still is breaking the law. And if you're breaking the law and you're committing crimes, the things you're doing, then that means, Mr. Fernando, you are fighting against your own race, because that's what they're saying about you at the end of the day. The name that you're using up there, you're not supposed to do that. It's against YouTube's policy. It's called impersonation. It's a policy you can't, and you actually break the law by doing that. As a matter of fact, we are going down to file with FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, ICE, bringing down these documents with them to let them know that you're basically duplicating our names. We had problems with you with violations with copyrights. You have with a violation with, what do you call it, the Frankenstein and all that stuff. He used the name, made money off the royalties. No, he didn't pay him any royalties. He made money off the name, didn't pay him any royalties. Stuff like that. You're the reason why. You can sit there and say, oh, he's just whining and crying on camera. No, this is documents, Mr. Fernando. Serious documents against you of you breaking very serious laws here in the United States. This is the reason why your name is on these documents. This is the reason why, at the end of the day, that this is making the Mexican people look bad, because they don't want to be labeled as you. You think anybody of your race You think any one of those people of your race want to take up the persona that you've taken on being here in the United States? You think they want to be you at the end of the day? No, they do not. You make them look bad. And you got a nerd that you're still carrying on. We still had this conversation. You're still carrying on and act up on his channel. Like I said, you can post my face 1,000 times. You can say all the nasty stuff about me. That does not bother me. That does not conflict with anything I do over here whatsoever. What it does, however, make you look extremely bad to your own people who, again, are trying to get in here to try to get a better life, and you're stopping them from doing that. You're worse than some of these people out here that are chanting that they don't want them in here to begin with because they're dangerous. You're worse than that. You might as well get yourself a red hat and say, hey, make America great again, and join them at the end of the day, because that's what you're doing right now. You're not supporting your people. You're supporting the people who don't want them in here. That's what you're supporting. Go get yourself a hat that says, make America great again. Put it on. Go swing over there at the mags and go over there and be with them at the end of the day. Because you'll fit in perfectly over there, because they don't want them over here. They don't want them at all. They don't want them at all, period, over here. None of them. And that's what you're doing. So it doesn't bother me if you take my picture. That doesn't bother me, Mr. Fernando, because, again, you're a child. I don't see you as an adult. I see you as a child. Like, if a child sat there and called me a doodle hit, I'm going to jump out and hit the kid at the end of the day. No, I'm an adult. It's a kid. That's what they do. They do dumb stuff. You know what I mean? That's a kid child. That's how I see you. So if you think this hostility is toward, or this anger is toward the pictures, no. See, that's how small-minded you are. It's not about that. It's the fact that how you are basically disrespecting your people. I have Mexican friends. I have, again, my sister's daughter fell in love with a man. He's Mexican. I love him. I love his family. They're going to be pretty soon coming down for the summer. We're going to spend all summer together, chilling out, having fun at the end of the day. And I don't like the fact that he has stress because of what his friends are going through. And I hear how he talks, how he's stressed, how his friends are scared. I've heard stories of people being scared, afraid to leave their homes, can't go to their jobs. These are people that are working hard to make a better life, not out doing the stuff that you're doing, Fernando. So it doesn't bother me when you go do the things you do. It bothers me that you do these things knowing that your people are struggling and fighting to be here, and you're doing this. And I have friends that are Mexicans that are stressed to death. They're afraid to leave their homes. They're afraid to put their kids in school. They are terrified. And it's a shame that it's come down to this. What makes it worse is people like you make it far worse for them. And that's the part you don't understand. And this is why I sat there and made that video and said he's selfish. He only thinks about himself and himself only. Nobody else. He doesn't care about his wife. He don't care about his kids. He don't care about his own people. He only cares about himself. Jamie only cares about Jamie. That's it. And you've shown that. You've shown that. Unfortunately, now I have to go down to other agencies with the documents we just filed. I'm literally going to have to go to another agency for enforcement. This is for investigation, to now put a report in of an undocumented immigrant to be picked up. That's what's happening. It's not being done out of hatred. All right, sorry about that, people. We're reconnection. We got a tech coming today to fix all that. So, okay, we're going to get that done. But anyway, you're a cancer to your own people. That's what you are. The reason why all this was done to begin with, Mr. Fernando, because you were breaking very serious crimes in the United States. You refused to back down. We gave you multiple, and people know, we gave him multiple opportunities. It wasn't just attacked and hit right away. He was given multiple opportunities to get out of the situation. He felt that he's above the law. He can do whatever he wants. That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to see at the end of the day, because this pushes that hatred even farther with people who don't want Mexicans here at all. I care more about your people than you do at the end of the day. You don't have a right to have that flag at all, period. Because you are a cancer against your own race at the end of the day. It doesn't bother me, like I said. What you do, that's what you do. That's who you are. But every time you post a picture, that's defamation. Those are lawsuits. It's breaking the law. You don't care. You don't care at all. So like I said, you're a cancer to your own race. That's what you are. You don't have a right to have that flag. You have a right to be. In fact, they shouldn't even transfer you back. They should send you someplace else because you don't belong there either. And as I told you before, if it gets out while you're in one of those holding cells, you have a strong possibility they're going to kick the crap out of them, and they probably are. So now I got to go down and I have to contact an agency and several agencies about this problem we're having with you. And now this is going to be the actual agency that we have to reach out to have to do a pickup. Because again, it's a shame it has to come down to this because you do not respect other people. Keep in mind, you can take it any way you want and say, hey, he's doing this out of revenge and hatred. No one's doing anything out of revenge and hatred, Mr. Fernando. If this was the case, this would have been taken care of a long time ago. You would have never received anything from a lawyer for a cease and desist order. We would have continued to open up the file and come get you again when it came with the first process server if it was about revenge and hatred. It's not about that, Mr. Fernando. It's about that at the end of the day, or Mr. Gonzalez, it's about at the end of the day of you breaking the law. You broke the law. That's what it is. You went and broke the law. And you broke the law and you have to pay for it. You have to pay for whether you're a citizen or not. You have to pay for that. And that's the part you don't understand. You got in your head you could do whatever you want because you're undocumented and you could basically break the law. And that's the one thing that, again, is a problem for your own people because that's what they wouldn't have labeled them as. So as I said before, in the video, I said he cares about no one but himself. And there's proof right there. I'll show you proof. So all through his channel. He don't care. I told you. This doesn't bother me at all, one bit. That doesn't bother me. You change the images over and over again. That doesn't bother me. It's the fact that you just don't care about anything but yourself. And there's another one right there. Only cares about himself. And he'll break as many laws as he possibly can. How Fernando functions in his head is that he will break as many laws as he possibly can, don't care about anybody else. All Crow cares about is himself. His name is Crow 1176. His real name is Jamie Fernando Gonzalez because he tries to hide it. He went in, he changed out his YouTube channel multiple times. We have here where, documents. Jeez, my goodness. This ain't even close to half of the stuff we have on him. Crow 11, Crow underscore BH76 was one of them. There was a bunch of them. We got a whole bunch of phone numbers, different addresses. He even used the family member's address to commit a crime. We literally have a document that we sent to him for the cease and desist order that he was sending us packages. And in these packages, I don't know what God knows was in them, but we never opened them up. But some of them we got basically from buying stuff from him on eBay. And keep in mind, he used an address which was 317 Kern Street, which we thought was his address. Find out, it's a family member. So he was using a family member's address to commit crimes. How low can you go? That is pretty messed up. I'm pretty sure when that document got there, he must have freaked out. But his name was all over it, so he probably knew where he was going to. But this is the kind of stuff he does at the end of the day. And again, like I said, Fernando, you've already gotten yourself in enough trouble. Look, it's not the paint. No, buddy. It has nothing to do with paint, man. It doesn't. All right? You attacked their company. We all know how it started. You came and attacked their company. If it's obsession about your product, why don't we make your product? We don't make your product. We make black technology. So that's the thing. The stuff we make has nothing to do with you. Look at the stuff we design. How in the world are we in the same category? We made grade screen paint 10 to 11 years ago. We don't even make that stuff. As a matter of fact, we give it away for free. And keep in mind, you don't own all gray screen paint. We were making gray screen paint 10 years ago under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. So try to make this about saying it's an obsession over your paint. You didn't exist. Where were you 10 years ago? I told you, delusional. How can we be obsessed over something that when you didn't even exist? And we don't make it anymore. Now, we're still making gray screen paint. Yeah, I can understand that one. You can probably make that claim somewhere in there. We don't make gray screen paint. We give it away for free. I told you, lie any chance you can. Here we go. Now, mind you, we don't match house paint. You match. You go to the blacklist. You want more information on Mr. Fernando's carrying on an accident up? Go to the blacklist under our other site, and you will see. We'll put a list there with the site email we can go to. And yeah, you'll see all the criminal activity we've actually got on Mr. Fernando down through time. But that would be insane. Well, how would we be obsessed with your product when we don't make great screen paint? We make every other thing, but we don't make great screen paint. But okay, let's humor that one. Let's go to Digital One. It's one of my older companies when we first started out. Digital One Crystal Screen up. Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. But let's see. This is Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. Right here. When I first started my company. Right here. That's me in the video. You'll see. And if you look at the date on it, the date says 12 years ago. So well, a little longer than that. Wow. 12 years ago, I was making this paint. It's a gray paint. It was under my company, Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. And this is me. So it'd be hard for me to be obsessed over a product that you didn't even exist when we were making it. How would we obsess over you? You weren't around when I was making this product. You were not even heard of. I didn't even know you even existed. See, this is the kind of, I can take you to court on that, Mr. Fernando, because you have no way to back that up by saying we're obsessed with you. How would you be obsessed by your products? And we don't even make gray paint. Our technology is all black, either dark. There's nothing here we make gray. Even the silver technology we make is dark. That's a long time ago. That's when I was in a little rented room. Hello, that's me. I have no idea what age I was. You know what's strange, too, on top of that? The wall was painted black. Off topic real quick. The wall was painted black. So that way, at that particular time, you had, if you're going to paint over a wall, it was a different color. You had to go through a lot of sanding and priming and stuff. So we did this demonstration called, painting HD screen 1 hour or less. I know it sounds like an hour is a long time, but at that particular time, when Goosestream was on the scene, it was like something like a 6-hour process to paint a screen. I'll lie to you not. So it used to be that. So this is how our campaign was. So you couldn't paint over a black wall. You had to go through all this priming, all this stuff to get the wall. And we came into the demonstration showing you can paint over any surface without going through all that crazy instruction nonsense. So that's how this video got started. Mr. Fernando, I can show tons of videos, beta testers, customers, even contracts in court, easily showing you that we were around long before you. And with that being said, how could we be obsessed with your products today if we had this stuff 12 years ago? There you go. Look at the color of the paint. It's gray. So technically, you copied off of us. And technically, you became obsessed with us because we were making gray paint long before you were. So I can't be obsessed with something that didn't exist. You see how that functions? Now, today, do we make gray paint like this? No, we don't. We don't make any gray paint like this. Everything we have is black. You've been obsessed with us. Because every time we post any demonstration about any form of black technology, here you go, making these fake demonstrations about our products not being real. We make demonstrations to tell people at the end of the day that the products that you have are basic house paint. We know. We used to make a lot of this stuff back then. A lot of that stuff. There we go. We're back. Sorry about that. We're getting it fixed. We're probably working on it right now. But as I said before, if you're obsessed with us, because again, we didn't try to go back and at the end of the day, how do I say it? We don't have any gray paints. Our stuff is black. We're black, dark, invisible, and all this crazy stuff, silver, different colors. We don't make this stuff anymore. We give it away for free. So I went online And I basically showed people how to make gray screen paint, and you blew up over that. You don't own all gray screen paint. There are several people online that show you how to make this stuff for free. My stuff is all tested. That's why we have to test everything to make sure it doesn't match black paint or anything else, because again, we have to back this up. You don't back any of this stuff up. Matter of fact, you got caught in 2 different cases of matching house paint. Okay? All right then. You ripped off a bunch of your customers. That's what you did. And again, making your people look bad. You scammed a whole bunch of people. And then continue to go on and lie and said the paint had a yellowish tone after we caught you deleting the video in a live stream. So we literally caught this guy doing evil acts. There you go. So how could I be obsessed over your paints if I was making them 12 years ago? Do I make them now? No. What do we say on camera? Gray screens don't work. Gray screens are prehistoric products, because they are. Learned that when I put my product against a black diamond and found out that the darker screens were the more superior screens. That's why we don't make them anymore. We make darker technology. There's no way in the world I'd be able to challenge half the certifiers I've had to challenge with that stuff. It wouldn't work. He just lies so much. And like I said, this is the same individual who's lying there. Is the same individual who sat there in his apartment and claimed he moved. Something's wrong with him. Like, he has no concept of doing this. Anybody else been caught doing something like that would have stopped and go, you know what? I'm not going to get on camera because they know I'm a liar. Once you're a liar, man, you're a liar. That's it. If you told more than 10 lies or 5 lies or whatever, and you're caught in a multi, you're just named a liar. And this is what you are. You are a liar. So you got on there and thought that you would tell more lies, that we're obsessed with your product, something we made 12 years ago when you didn't even exist. None of my technology looks like that. None of it. None of my technology looks like that. Any of it. We upgraded. I'm not going to go, that's a downgrade. That's what I said. Gray screen's a downgrade for us. But there I am right there. Got a dozen more just like that. Hundreds of them. Ever seen those before, people? Yeah. That's me 12 years ago on a great screen paint product called Digital Crystal Screen Paint, a company I started when I first started off. Anything you say, Mr. Fernando, we can back it 100% as being a lie. Anything you say. So, as I said before, you make your people look bad. Get on camera, lie, cheat, steal, rob, break the law over and over again. I'm going to go to the proper authorities. I already went to these proper authorities. I'm going to go to some other ones to enforce whatever we need to enforce to get something to get you taken care of right away. Because you make your own race look bad. You being removed and being sent back, or actually being in prison first and then they'll send you back after you do probably 20 years or so, who knows, is good for the Mexican people. Because again, it gets rid of a cancer. He's making you look bad. He's making you look awful. That's what you don't want. And I don't see how someone can drive through those protests, because you know they're down there protesting, and see these people out there. I bet you out there cheering for them too. Well, how dirty you are at the end of the day. And you do stuff like that. This isn't like people saying, well, same thing as basically, no, it's not like stealing a candy bar. It isn't. It ain't like walking to a store, take a few pocketbooks in. That's still all bad. This guy committed serious federal crimes. These are very serious crimes. This is stuff that can easily land you a good maybe 30, 40, 50 years easily. And this guy went out and not only attacked me, he attacked my late mother. He attacked my family members. He doxed addresses. He did all that. Yeah, yeah. You made your people look bad, very bad. You need to be removed out of that building, and you need to be left with customs and let them handle it from there. And that's where you're going. And you can sit there and scream racist toward people. Oh, he's racist. No, Mr. Fernando, you're racist against your own people because you don't care. You don't care about those people out there trying their hardest and working hard. And I hope they're 100% successful. I hope they are. Heck, When if I get free time, I'm jumping in that crowd with my people, and I'm basically going to be protesting too. But it's interesting because I had to be on both sides of this coin right here. And you know what's interesting? Because I talked to my friends about it. I said, man, I'm sorry I got to do this. He said, don't say sorry you got to do that. Because we don't want him here either. He's making us look bad. Do whatever you got to do. Get him out. They don't want you here. Immigration attorneys I talk to don't want you here. You make their jobs harder. You make them look bad. There's my screen right there, Jamie. What color is that? You know, it's weird when I watch this demonstration. Like, I painted over a black screen, but that's not a black screen. A black screen paint didn't even exist then. That's everyday black paint. That's what it is. I had to paint the wall the darkest color you could possibly think of, because in the forum sites, what they were talking about is you couldn't paint over certain walls. What's the hardest color to paint over? Black. So that's the one we chose to do the demonstration, which is weird now because we make black technology, and that's what I have over here now, which is weird because it's kind of like I was looking into the future, but I didn't see it. Isn't that crazy? Here's my screen firing on. Remind you, we didn't have the PX 747. We didn't have any P2s or P1s or any of them. Epson, we didn't have any of that stuff. We had 720p projector. You were lucky to have a 1080p back then. So if you take an old paint like this and you introduce it to high technology projectors today, yeah, they look different. But they're still great paint. That's why he matched. When he did the demonstration with the network grade 773 on the P2, that's why it matched. It's the same thing. Just different caliber projector, that's all. Come in. All right, there we go. That was an NEC projector, 720p model. Remember that was one of the highlight weapons in Call of Duty? So my gallons went for $148. That's what a gallon went for when I was basically selling my technology. So, no, Mr. Fernando, no one's obsessed with you. You're obsessed with us because we've been here longer. We can show you timestamp right there. What does that say right there on my video? It says 12 years ago. How in the world would I be obsessed with gray paint if I was making that 12 years ago? Does it look like we make gray paint? No, we don't. We don't make gray paint. We gave it away for free. You know, when I sat there and said on camera that I've been making this stuff for years, I've been making this stuff for years, for a very long time. I know everything there is about making gray paint. Matter of fact, my track record between me and you is my stuff sold for more money. I sold more gray paint than you have. I know that for a fact. I had more customers than you in gray paint. And my stuff was contracted overseas. My stuff is actually in displays overseas. Matter of fact, I got gray screen paint overseas on somebody's wall somewhere. My stuff is there. So with that being said, no, I would not be obsessed with you. You would be obsessed with me. It'd be the other way around because I came here first. You can't be obsessed with something that's not here. That's how it works. 1 hour or less. Digital crystal screen paint. And there's the old address, digitalcrystalscreenpaint.com. That's a blast from the past, ain't it? Yes, it is. Where is the search here? You know that? That's all me, Mr. Fernando. That's all me, right there. That's how many videos, demonstrations I've done. I didn't just do one demonstration. That's all me. That's 12 years ago, 12 years ago, 12 years ago, 12 years ago. Yeah, I was making that stuff a long time ago. Before you ever existed on YouTube. You weren't even around. If you were around, you were making screen paints. All on gaming, movies, painting on cardboard boxes, all that stuff. Because at that particular time, you couldn't paint on anything you wanted. You had to paint on the wall. That was the rules. And we started painting on cardboard boxes. Started painting on jackets and hoodies and fabric and clothing. Doing things that nobody else was doing because everybody was following tradition. And we decided to go out of tradition. If I'm going to make it and get a name for myself, I'm going to have to do something that everybody else is not doing. I did the opposite. Look at that. 12 years ago, 11 years ago. I can even show you invisible technology I made 10 years ago. So again, for you to say that I'm obsessed with Gears of War. You know how old Gears of War is? That's the first one that came out. That was 12 years ago. Gee whiz, it was actually 12 years ago? That's a long time. Yeah, Gears of War right there. That's on Xbox 360 12 years ago. That is pretty crazy. Images next to ambient light. We didn't say ambient light because we didn't have ambient light projection. Technology didn't exist. It was all about game. You had a game with a 2.0 and so forth. Stuff like that. So to make that statement, no, man. You lie. And like I said, right there on camera, there you are, lying again, making your people look bad, on there talking lies again. Just like you got caught. You don't remember any of this stuff that you do? Like you don't remember being in an apartment and lying and telling people you moved to another apartment and you didn't? You don't remember basically removing videos off your account when you clearly got caught matching house paint? You don't remember any of that? Because we have documented. We document everything. Gee whiz Louise. Look at this. Outside screen paint. We were testing outside screen paint at roughly around 11 years ago. 11 years. On a great product. Plywood. Here's another one. Testing on plywood because you couldn't paint on plywood. They said you couldn't do it. We went out and did it 12 years ago. Look at this. You can't return a vinyl screen from Home Depot into a projection screen 12 years ago. You're trying to keep up to us. We're not trying to keep up to you. We passed all that stuff already. So for you to sit there and say at the end of the day that, oh, no, you know, he's no, man, I've been here what longer than you have. What you said was a lie. Now, like I said before, again, the way you carry yourself, you are a black eye to the Mexican people, and you are. And like I said, when I told you I got friends of mine who watch the stuff that he does at the end of the day, they don't like him. He attacks his own race. You know, one of the guys who was actually doing the demonstrations for his outside, really nice guy at the end of the day, good Christian guy, he was attacking him. He was contacting, harassing him, attacking him, threatening him, all kinds of stuff, just carrying on and acting up. And the people that were following along with him, with Fernando, were also joining in the group of attacking other people. Yeah. But he's going to pay for all that now. All that's going to be paid for now. And that's not being done. You can take it. See, I told you. He's a Karen. He's a 100% male Karen. Jamie will go out, commit crimes, do this, do that. And when the hammer comes down on top of him, now everybody's a bad guy. He will not take credit, or he will not, sorry, he will not take credit, but he will not take responsibility for what he does. He will blame everybody else. Heck, he probably blames his family right now. He probably blames everybody. He will not take responsibility for himself. People like you, Fernando, like that, people like you end up in two places, jail or dead. That's where they end up at. Those are two places they end up at. You got to take responsibility for your action, man. You can't be going around and carrying on the way you're carrying on. You want to post pictures and carry on act up? That's not going to hurt my business. That's not going to stop my sales from coming through. That's not going to disrupt anything. What you don't understand at the end of the day, my technology comes from God. I told you that. I backed myself up on every level whatsoever. Even came on camera and said, hey, if I'm doing anything wrong, disrespectful, if the Lord feels that I'm doing, may the Lord smite me, take everything I have. My technology has advanced ever since I made that statement. So it just seems that we just been rising and you've been falling. Your website went under, you know, people are not buying your products. You know, you're in a lot of trouble right now. And on top of that, with the trouble you're in right now, it's even worse. It just has not gone well for you at all, period. My goodness. And it's a shame. He's self-destructing. Don't even see it. Just constantly self-destructing. Even what I'm saying right now to you guys, he'll turn around and go about him again. He'll turn around and go, oh yeah, he's just mad about this because I posted pictures and all right, whatever. Bottom line is that the stuff you're doing now is just going to be documented. That's all. It's going to be taken to these agencies. That's basically about it. And then we have to put in for an urgent that you need to be taken care of right away because you are a potential threat and problem. You have to be removed. Because again, as I said before, you can make it about race. It's not about race, Fernando. You went out and you committed crimes. And only committed crimes, you're undocumented citizen on top of that. While you're making these crimes and you're making it rough for your own people who should be your people who are trying their hardest to do something, to have something, you are a roadblock to them. Because those, I can't say for all the agents, I can't say, but I'm pretty sure you have some people, like we have racist cops at the end of the day, you know we got them. So you got a bit of whatever in every form of law enforcement agency. You're gonna have people that are nice cops, and that's why you can't say all cops are evil because they're not. Because I met some really amazing police officers. I got dated 2 police officers at that, and they were very amazing people. They're people. You're gonna have jacked up people and have good people. You know. The thing about it is, once they put on a uniform, people label the entire group. That's what's jacked up about it. But you're gonna have an officer, you may bump into an officer without his uniform on an everyday, and he could be the biggest bonehead on the face of the planet. When he puts that uniform on, that labels every single one of them. You don't really think about that part, do you? I do. I think about the big picture and all of it. But I've met very nice officers who are really cool, sit down, joke with you, whether they got uniform on or not. They've just been nice people. Can't judge them all by saying, hey, you see a bunch of bad cops beating on somebody, they're all bad. They're not all bad. It's just ones that wear those uniforms are bad. So again, you want to change that. You don't want people to think that your people are labeled this way. That's what you want to try to do. Well, there's no point in me wasting my breath making the statement because he's not going to listen. He's just going to go out and do more dumb stuff. And again, you're not hurting me. You're not taking anything from me. I've never met a man that can take down God. I've never met one. And I never will meet one. Never want to meet one. Everything we have comes from our Lord and Savior. That's why we're able to sell. We just found out this stuff yesterday, was able to push through a freaking high power. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, it's crazy. I had people up here staring at it yesterday. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. But anyway, as I said before, it's just that you make your people look bad, Mr. Fernando. You really do. And you can post all your pictures. You can say all the nasty stuff you want. You're monitored anyway. It doesn't make a difference. But you make your own people look bad. You really do. And for when someone comes in, especially when their mind is like that, any one of these officers, when it may be, that may be like that, you basically father their belief in believing that the Mexican people are bad. And they're not bad people. They're good people. In every race, you're going to have bad people and you're going to have good people. And it's a shame because the bad people make the good people look bad. They really do. Now, like I said, I got people here that are working hard to try to be documented so they can do something positive with what they have. And you had every possibility thrown, every possibility of every kind of opportunity thrown your way, and this is what you did with it. So I'm going to go do what I have to do. And keep in mind, he can go scream, oh, he's racist, he's this, that, and the other. Yeah, I'm supposed to let you continue to commit crimes, carry on and act up, whether you're a citizen or not. I was hoping you was citizen. I was really hoping you was. Because if you was, that means I can take you to federal court on my copyrights and I can get you over 80 years in jail. Because that's what they were pushing for. Real jail time for Mr. Fernando was over 80 years. But since he's not, so what's going to happen from there is basically he's still going to have to face the cybercrimes, and I want to make sure we contact them to let them know that there are 2 other charges we want. We want one charge for the well, that would be cybercrimes still, but we want it for the black paint, of saying that our products are black paint, and the other one we want is for touching the copyrights. So we got to make sure we add those in there too. I did put information in about copyright violations. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to contact me and ask for the documents. So we'll just go from there. Other than that, yeah. And if I'm doing a post, Mr. Fernando, on gray paint, and we mention your name, because you have done this to people. You have ripped them off. I'm just going to sit there and say, oh, well, his products never robbed anybody. Because you did. You robbed a whole bunch of people. You sold them gray paint with no testing. Even your shipping policy clearly shows at the end of the day that you try to keep them from returning any items that they may have discovered that could possibly have matched gray paint. He made sure you couldn't return that stuff. You put policies in that tell people that if you open up a container, you're stuck with it. If it lands on your property, you're stuck with it. I'm talking about no exchange, nothing at all. You're stuck with it. Just in case if you just happen to stumble upon or find out that the product was a fake, then you had no way to return. You can keep your money 100%. I literally have it documented, everything I'm saying. This is our Crystalwich site. Crystalwich was converted to, he said, whatever we call our company. I literally put the bulletin out. The reason why we had to change it, we got 2 different names. It's not going to work. It's going to be a bit of a headache. This is business, this is what we do. But anyway, we changed both of them to the names so they all sync together. And over on this list, we have under the ILEG technology screens, info.com. You can come here and you can check out something we call the blacklist. This is the damage he's doing to his people at the end of the day. And you name it, he's done it. Now, you see us first started off on knockoff projectors because that's how we all started off. But then we turned into this. Now, again, I made several products out of here out of black and white paint. You did it yourself, right? You made products out of black and white paint. Are you going to lie about this video? This is you in a video. That's your table and all that. And that's you making out of black and white paint. This is what we use to make your product multiple times when we did demonstrations showing people how easy it is. We made it that way when we were coming up 10, 12 years ago. Here's your product over here, matching house paint. This is not even paint made. This is paint you slide off a shelf. You don't put anything into it. What did the AI say, overview, said when we looked up his product? It clearly stated that how it was made. It mentioned black paint, it mentioned pearlescent. Like I told you, I dropped this the gray. They use the silver instead. You drop the gray and you get the lighter one. That's how it's done. Everything in there, AI said, we had it over there because we've done it already. And it said, as in, if you don't feel like doing the mixing and all that stuff, the next stage is just go out and buy gray paint because it'll do the same thing, which, again, he did himself. And that's its product right there, matching Network Gray 773. Perfect match right there. And he got on camera, he said, there we go. And this is what I mean by, if you say, what does that say? It does make you look bad for your people, because, man, you didn't even own up to this, man. Do you have any idea how many people he ripped off in this process? See, that's the reason why. This is the statements they're making at the end of the day, is they're feeling that Mexican people are bad for the United States. And they're not. You're making it hard for them by doing stuff like this. So clearly, match the house paint and the demonstration with no problem whatsoever. Now, did he come out and apologize for it? Did he say, hey, look, I'm sorry, I matched the house paint. You know, we're going to try to do better this time. I'll refund your money. We'll give you exchange for something better. You know what I mean? We'll do something better. I apologize. Did he do that? No, he didn't. He didn't do that at all, period. He just continued to sell the product. We have proof and evidence showing that he's been selling this product long after he found out the product was matching house paint. We did 3 products in the demonstration. He only did 1. You know why? Because he couldn't do the rest of them, because the embarrassment on this one was unbelievable. Let's skip to this because I don't want to spend time on this. I want to check out the screen. I got to do some demonstrations on what we found out on the screen over there. He did it over here with the silver screen. This is the silver you see with the customer, with the personal mix. He did it right over here. Also matched perfectly. You can check that out for yourself. It's just all kinds of stuff this guy has done. This is the Frankenstein. You can look at the Frankenstein right next to the UV mix. They look exactly the same. Video claims that the product he never made ambient light rejection paint. He stated right there at 143. Frankenstein changes colors multiple times in video demonstrations. It goes from this color to that color. Let me see. I'm going to grab this real quick because I don't want to be able to have things to do. This is just some of the stuff you've been doing, man. Like we got the side-by-side of paints, the 2.0 Metallica. That's free. You show people how to make that for free. And then turned around and opened up an eBay account and try to make it sound different to sell it to people. And this is what they're talking about. Scheming, robbing, cheating, lying, all that stuff. You know, you're making your people look bad. Look at that. You still Google images. Google images. And try to claim that this is how his product looked. We busted him on that. You hit the back button, it pulls up exactly where it came from. It's just all kinds of craziness, man. All kinds of craziness. So, you know, Whatever you do at the end of the day, Mr. Fernando, like I said, it's just going to fall back on you, and you're hurting your people in the process, and you don't care. That's what that comes down to. You don't really care. You only care. Jamie only cares about Jamie. That's it. There we go. This is the video showing him deleting a video from the account. So basically, there were two of these videos. One had the Thrasher hoodie on. The other one was another one that was in the dark, where he claims the paint has a yellowish tone. This is the video right here. You can see right there. That's one of the videos right there. Right there. Network Gray 773 right there. And he has the nerve to write at the bottom about don't believe everything you hear. Literally, he wrote that in there after matching the product. And this happened in a live stream. We went in and he deleted his video right in the live stream trying to hide evidence. And then he'll get on camera and he'll lie again. And he'll get on camera and lie again. There's something called a compulsive liar. This is what Jamie is diagnosed with. See right here? How the site just went missing that quick? Yeah. He got rid of it. He deleted it. Just like the other one. He got caught basically lying on camera about basically moving. And you know how big a liar you got to be to lie on that? Oh my goodness. Like I said, it's endless. He's a compulsive liar. That's what he is. He's actually a compulsive liar. He'll say he'll lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. Not realize he just lied. He'll lie on top of lying. Those are compulsive liars. And it's just all this crazy stuff. That's all him. Majority, most of it's him. Just doing crazy stuff. So, Mr. Fernando, it would be impossible for me to be obsessed with your product when I was making it 12 years ago before you existed. That'd be impossible. Are we still making it now? We're not making it now. We don't make great paint. We give it away for free. This is all the knowledge that I have of making great paint. How would I be making your product if I was making the product before you existed? So that wouldn't be possible. But you like to get on camera and you lie. That's what you do. You love to lie. And that's the problem. You know, you ripped off and you cheated a lot of people. What about that fellow who screen washed out watching the soccer game? What about him at the end of the day? And he guy worked hard. I watched him when he built that room. I went and watched the demonstration because it was a beautiful room. He did a nice job. Maybe I might learn something from it. So I went in and checked it out. The ceiling was incredible. So I watched it. He painted that screen in and the screen washed out. What about the fellow on top of the rooftop deck? His screen washed out. Did he take any credit for any of that? No. His policy strictly says that he can't give you your money back. He can't even help you out. He can't give you nothing. So, you know, you ripped off. You hurt a lot of people in the process, and this is life finally catching up to you. But what makes this even worse, Mr. Fernando, at the time that we're going through right now with the orange man in office and trying to make it really rough for the Mexican people to be able to get that dream, you're pushing against your own people by doing stuff like this. It doesn't bother me. The stuff that you do against us, we're good. We got you taken care of already. You can go out and say whatever you want. My mom, you can say things about my family, say things about my cat. You say whatever you want to say at the end of the day. All right? That's you. That's how you are. You're that person. But you're making your people look bad in the process while you're doing this. You don't care. So that's just who he is, people. That's just who he is. Jamie only cares about Jamie, and that is it. He doesn't care about his customers. He doesn't care about family. He only cares about him. That's it. All right, people. Got to go. Be safe out there, and God bless. I got to work on this new screen we're working on. Well, not screen, we're working on something else. But I got to go, and God bless.